Hi ladies and gents, welcome to another session of Every Mark Matters with Miss McDonald. Today we are having a look at Edexcel History Medicine through time, and that is paper 1. Just the one exam question today, but what I would like to specifically focus on is an explain why question or a 12 marker. So make sure you've grabbed 2 or 3 pens to write with, and let's have a quick look at today's question. Okay, right, so starting with what we're going to do is we're going to break apart the question. And these exam questions are made up of 3 parts. They are made up of something called a command phrase, a focus, and a second order concept. So what we'll do is we'll start by having a look at the command phrase. And our command phrase of this question is explain why. So I'm going to suggest that you make sure that you write down this question here and copy as just as long as I'm doing it. The reason why I would like you to do this is because what happens is when it comes to an exam or mock or maybe the real GCSE, is as you become to learn these skills, it sort of becomes part of your practice, and then over time is you create a web or a network of knowledge. And it's all about like pulling knowledge out of your long-term memory into your short-term memory to apply here. So our command phrase here is explain why. That means what you've got to do is you've got to present reasons. And explain them. We'll come back to how many reasons in a moment, but the whole idea is that you're presenting reasons and you're explaining them. The second element that I want to show you, these are like pieces of the puzzle, or when you're putting a sandwich together, these are the parts that make up your sandwich or make up an exam question in this context, is our focus. So our focus. And what I might do is I might grab a highlighter here. And our focus of the question is medical understanding. So again, I'm going to annotate medical understanding with focus. What I want you to do is I just want you to press pause now, actually. And what you're going to do is you are going to annotate the word focus with what do you know about medical understanding in the industrial period. So obviously down here you've got a couple of hints that you can use, but what do you know about medical understanding in the industrial period? If you need any help, use the bits and bobs in the bio, use the links in the bio, or have a look on YouTube or elsewhere on the internet to think about what do you know about medical understanding in the industrial period. So take all the time you need, press pause and come back to me when you're ready. Okay, so I've done the same here, and what I'm thinking, what do I know about medical understanding? Well, obviously you've got the germ theory, haven't you? Alongside that you have miasma, you have my man John Snow, you might already have maybe Robert Koch. You might have Joseph Lister and carbolic acid. Now I'm going to run out of space for carbolic acid. Let me squeeze it up here. Loads of great stuff here to refer to in this question. Alright? Okay. So we've done the command phrase, we've done the focus. Our next part is something what I call the second order concept. Alright, and this is the application of history. So I'm going to write down here second order concepts. So this will be quite hard to work out because you won't be explicitly taught what these are, But in this question, it is causation. Causation, just to clarify, is why did one thing lead to another? Oops, misspelt lead. Lead to another. And we know that because it has here why there was rapid progress. So it's asking, why did something lead to rapid progress in medical understanding? Now there's one thing here that you'll know really well with your history teacher, and that is just what I want to focus on here. That is the number 12 marks, or the number 12. That means you have to do 3 paragraphs, and you've got to do, you've got to spend 15 minutes doing that. I just really want to stress is that if you don't do more than 2, you've got to have 3 reasons. I really want to press that to you. If you only have 2, you are limited to 8 marks. Okay? So you've got to have 3 reasons. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to green. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to demonstrate to you the success criteria here. Alright? So, the exam board often uses phrases such as AO1 and AO2. So allow me to demonstrate what they are. So I'm going to start by putting AO1 here, and what that is facts. That's your knowledge. AO2, that is your explanation. Okay, so it's how the quality of which you explain. So I'm just going to create a little table like this. Oops, might try and make that bigger. Okay, right, so let me put my success criteria up here. Okay, so ladies and gents, right, let's have a quick look here then. So what I want to do is I'm just going to start with AO1, alright? And as you all know, is that the quality of your answers are scored in levels. These are not grades, these are the levels. This measures the strength of your answer. Alright? So a level 3, if you're a student aiming for maybe 5, 6 or 7 in history or any subject, you might be right into about a level 3. If you're going for 7 and above, you're aiming for level 4, and I'm hoping we're all going for a level 4 here. So the mark scheme uses a specific phrase of good understanding when it comes to knowledge. So the way I read that is 2 facts per paragraph. Okay? So that's 2 facts per paragraph that are relevant to the question. For level 4, it uses the word precise knowledge. It uses the phrase precise knowledge. That, I class, is specifics, names, dates, events, etc. Put a comma in there. Okay, and obviously we're all going for here, and specifically today, that's what I'm going to go for today. With your explanation, when it comes to a level 3, what they'll do is they will use, the mark scheme uses the phrase developed. Again, I view that as developed is 2 sentences. Of explanation. And that might be how and why. Alright? Level 4, it uses the phrase analytical. And I would use that as 3 sentences. And you can either do how, why, so what, or 2 sentences and a link. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. I'm going to suggest now that you spend 15 minutes writing this answer. So I'd like you to press pause, put a 15-minute timer up, and have a go at answering the question. It doesn't matter if you don't do 3 paragraphs, just try your best. It's all about developing the strength in your hand and demonstrating your knowledge and applying yourself to these challenging questions. And what you're going to do at the end of this 15 minutes, you're going to read through one of mine. We're going to compare mine to this success criteria here, and then we're going to use that success criteria to compare yours to mine, and then we'll have we'll self-assess how well we do. So, spend the next 15 minutes pausing the video, having a go at answering the question. Again, if you don't know the knowledge, what I would probably do is I prioritise finding out the knowledge first, getting a textbook up from the links below, or any additional information from somewhere else online, or maybe your own personal textbooks, and then have a go at this question. Okay, so I'll see you in 15 minutes time, where we'll switch to green, we'll have a little go. 15 minutes, go for it. Hello, welcome back. So I'm hoping there that you've had 15 minutes to have a go at doing 3 paragraphs, answering the question, explain why there was rapid progress in medical understanding during the Industrial Revolution between 1750 and 1900. Now my hand absolutely kills after doing that, so I'm presuming yours will be in the same. So what we'll do is we'll go easy and we'll just annotate the following things. So we'll annotate AO1 and AO2. And again, remember, I'm going back to our success criteria we've created down here. AO1 is facts and AO2 is explanation. So I'll just put that there as a key. Of course, if you want to do this in different colours, you can do. I'm going to do it in green, just so it stands out a bit to be a different colour. Now, again, I just want to go over the basics. So again, a polite reminder about point, evidence, explain. But I'm also very conscious that the way in which I wrote my answer in 15 minutes, I bolted my way through it, so I'm conscious of my handwriting. So what I'll do is I'll do some reading for this first paragraph, and then we'll have a look at point, evidence, explain, and I'll read for the rest. One reason why there was rapid progress in medical understanding during the industrial period was because of Louis Pasteur. From my own knowledge, I know that Louis Pasteur discovered germs in 1861 as the real cause of disease using his swan neck flask experiment. Additionally, Pasteur went on to create vaccines for chicken cholera in 1879, anthrax in 1881 and rabies in 1885. This led to rapid progress in medical understanding as scientists doctors and government finally knew the cause of disease and acted. It should say acted there. Acted upon it, or could act upon it. This led to scientists copying Pasteur's practice, developing other vaccines, creating a profession of bacteriologists. As a result, germ theory would create rapid progress in medical understanding as they can now create vaccines, cures, and improve living conditions. So again, all I'm doing just for this current moment is just remind you of point, evidence, explain. Point is when you rewrite the question and make a statement, and that's precisely what I've done here. Evidence is where I've demonstrated knowledge that's relevant to the question. And again, for level 4 knowledge, I'm going for too specific, or to use the word from the mark scheme, precise. From my own knowledge, I know. Again, there's all my evidence. Additionally, there's the rest of my evidence. Oops. And then the final part, explanation. This led My goodness, I was in a rush. This led to rapid progress. There we go. There we go. So that's my explanation there. You can probably see where I'm going to go with this. So switching back to green. Right. So whenever you make a point and you present the reason, that is always AO2. So your point, I would make sure you demonstrate AO2. Alright? Now, I just want to differentiate here. When we go back to the success criteria, maybe we need to differentiate the difference between an AO1 that's level 3 and an AO1 that's level 4. So I reckon if it's a level 4, maybe we put an AO1 plus. So let's have a quick look here then. From my own knowledge, that I know that Louis Pasteur discovered germs in 1861. Well, there's precise knowledge, isn't it? So I'm going to put AO1 plus as the real cause of disease. Again, I think that's AO1. I won't call that AO1 plus, but it's precise. Using his swan neck flask experiment, that is almost certainly precise. So I'm going to put AO1 plus. Additionally, Pasteur went on to create vaccines for chicken cholera, and you can see exactly where I'm going here. Loads of AO1 plus, loads of AO1 plus. This led to rapid progress. All right, so I'm presuming there that I'm not going to demonstrate any more facts or AO1, so let's see if I've got any explanation. This led to rapid progress in medical understanding as doctors and scientists finally knew the real cause of disease and acted upon it. Maybe you should say and could act upon it. Maybe that's what's supposed to say. Could act upon it. This led to scientists copying Pasteur's practice, developing other vaccines and creating the profession of bacteriologists. As a result, a germ theory would create rapid progress in medical understanding, so they can now create vaccines, cures, and improve living conditions. Right, so again, all of this is explanation. AO2, 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 and I just want to demonstrate phrases that I quite like adding in here. This led to, as a result. You'll also notice that I'm using the language of the question here of rapid progress. Alright? So this led to all that I've done there is I'm explaining how Pasteur's germ theory would help him. This led to that one there. I mean, why it would lead to rapid progress. As a result, maybe what is the long-term impact of that? So I've gone on how, why, so what. Again, I could simply just do this led to, this led to, this led to. As a result. This meant that, this meant that. It doesn't matter what explanation phrases you could use, but so long as you are going how, why, that final sentence, so what. You can see where I'm aiming for here, ladies and gents. Right, second paragraph. Another reason why there was rapid progress in medical understanding during the industrial period was because of Robert Koch. For example, Robert Koch competed with Louis Pasteur in the second half of the 19th century for the real cause of disease. After Pasteur discovered germs, Koch went on to identify 21 germ cells in 1876. Koch used dye to stain bacteria so they could be seen under a microscope. Going on to my next page. This led to rapid progress as he went on to discover TB in 1882 and cholera in 1883. Meaning that doctors and scientists can now begin to look at effective cures or prevention strategies. More importantly, Koch's work inspired others to find diseases such as diphtheria, pneumonia, and meningitis. This is important because treatments and vaccines later became available in the 20th century and free on the NHS. Wow, okay. So, going back to my green pen, obviously I've written on 2 pages here, but again, that first point, that is my AO2. I've demonstrated a reason. By that point of where I've read, I've not done any description or explained it yet, but that first sentence, that point, is AO2. For example, Koch competed with Louis Pasteur. I'm going to class that as AO1 plus. It's not often that students write down the competition between Pasteur and Koch to discover the real cause of disease. 21 germ types or different germ cells, that's AO1 plus. Again, you've got a year here with AO1 plus. That's a really dodgy looking G there. You can tell again I was trying to squeeze it in 15 minutes. Use dye to stain bacteria. There's a great bit of AO1 there, very good stuff. So you could see one fact here, a second fact here. So loads of precise knowledge added in there. Let's have a look at my explanation. This led to him using that again, but I'm using the language in the question. This led to rapid progress as he later went on to discover TB. Wow! Look at this here. AO1 plus again. AO1 plus again. Didn't mean to do that, but that's great stuff. Meaning that doctors and scientists, here's my AO2 here, could look at effective cures or prevention strategies. There is your how. More importantly, Koch's work inspired other scientists to find diseases such as diphtheria, pneumonia, and meningitis. There is your why. This was important. Oh gosh, look at this here. This was important as treatments and vaccines later became available in the 20th century and free in the NHS. That's your so what. And then finally, a final reason why there was rapid progress in medical understanding during the industrial period was the work of John Snow. Prior to Pasteur's germ theory, miasma and spontaneous generation were the main beliefs around the cause of disease. In 1854, John Snow plotted the deaths from cholera on a map in Soho and identified that cholera originated from the Broad Street pump. This was significant because Snow was able to scientifically prove that cholera was not caused by miasma but dirty water. This was reinforced. There should be a D there. Let me add that in there in green. This was reinforced when he removed the handle from the water pump and which ceased the epidemic. This led to rapid improvement once germs were discovered, as doctors and scientists could now recreate his study in future epidemics, and would ultimately lead to improvements in public health thanks to the 1875 Public Health Act. And you can see precisely what I've done here. Yet again, I've got my AO2 here. Loads of this AO1 with AO1 plus there. AO1 where I'm talking about plotting of the deaths. I've used Soho, that's precisely where I did it, AO1 plus. Broad Street Pump, AO1 plus, but I'm expecting all of you to know that. Miasma or spontaneous generation, AO1 plus. This was significant because there's my how. Prove that it was not caused by dirty water, which reinforced. This is my why. So there's my how. Why, and the final bit is the so what. So if I just go back to my success criteria here, so here it is here. So again, level 3, good understanding, 2 facts a paragraph. Well, I've definitely done that. Have I used precise knowledge? Yeah, I think so. Names, dates and facts. Level 3, develop 2 sentences of explanation. Well, I've definitely done that. Have I used analytical, so how, why, so what, or 2 sentences a link? I've definitely done that. So therefore, what I'm going to do is I'm going to annotate my answer now, just like I would do if I was marking an actual exam, is I'm going to do AO1 equals level 4, AO2 equals level 4, which works out at 12 out of 12. Now I understand that might be different for you, and it's all up to your interpretation of the success criteria, but what I'd like you to do now is I'd like you to look back at what I've just done with my answer, repeat the process of annotating AO1, annotating AO2, looking out for that how, why, so what if you're going for a level 4, or the how and why if you're going for a level 3, annotating on there and just adding in a score, just like I have here. So AO1, what level would you give yourself? AO2, what level would you give yourself? Alright, obviously if you've not done these, so if you've not done 2 facts a paragraph, that might be level 2. If you've not brought in a great deal of specifics or precise knowledge, and it's still not 2 facts a paragraph, that still might be level 2. If you've only done 1 sentence of explanation, that might be level 2. And of course, if you've written nothing, that would be level 1. Or worse, level 0. And we don't want any of that. So, I'll leave you to that. Thank you very much for your time. It's an absolute pleasure to present work and work with you. Thank you very much for your hard work with history. And I will see you next time. Thank you.